Hello, and welcome to another vlog. I'm sure that in the background right now you can probably hear the microwave. It's Friday, and I just got home from work a little while ago, and so I'm reheating my dinner, which is why the microwave is running, and it's about to go off in a couple seconds. But yeah, I thought I would do a weekend vlog this weekend. Obviously, I'm not doing Vlogtober because, for one, I just forgot, and for two, my day-to-day life is just not that interesting right now because it's just a lot of work. But I thought I'd do a weekend vlog just to kind of show you guys how I'm getting on with the, living alone life. So the plan for tonight is get some dinner eaten, and then have a little bit of a dyeing party. I'm gonna be dyeing up a couple skeins of the That Pumpkin Drink yarn, and then doing another sort of version 2 of a colorway that in my head I know what it looks like, and when I tried it the first time it didn't quite come out the same way that I envisioned it. It still came out nice, but I'm gonna see if I can get it to actually match the vision that was in my head. So yeah, that's the plan for tonight. So let's do it. So this is a new toy that I just got. I picked this up on my way home from work. This is sort of a big collapsible drying rack. And this is something that I've been wanting for a little while, partly, so I have an over-the-door drying rack in my bedroom, and this is going to go in there too. I'm in the living room right now, but I have an over-the-door drying rack, which is basically about as big as this top piece, which works fine for like most of my yarn dyeing, but I also like to hang out some of my laundry, right? I actually like to use it as a laundry drying rack too, like my sweaters and things that just, will shrink in the dryer. And it's not big enough for that. So this is partly just, to give me more space to spread out yarn if I'm dyeing, a bunch at once, and also to help me actually be able to hang out laundry and dry laundry, like air dry laundry versus, drying it in the machine, which obviously costs money and uses electricity and all that. So very excited about this. It was like 20 bucks, and I think I will get $20 worth of use out of it. So whoop whoop. Welcome back. The dyeing party has officially begun. It's starting a little bit later than I would have liked. As you can see, it is now dark outside. It's about 10 after 8. I ate dinner and then FaceTimed with Wesley for quite a while. So, it's not that I mind starting a little bit later, but my hands are orange because I tend to just reach right into the pot to like spread the yarn out, which sometimes means that my hands turn whatever color is in the pot. But I don't know if I don't remember if I showed you guys these, but a little while ago I bought a couple bottles, big bottles of food coloring off of Amazon. So I have one in blue, one in red, one in yellow. And these are big 16-ounce bottles. And that's what I've been using for a lot of this dyeing. Anything like this, like the pumpkin, colorway where it's like it takes a decent amount of food dye to get the color. I like having these because for one thing, it means I can measure it out using a syringe, which just makes things a lot more accurate. And this is much more economical than like the little droppers that you get from the grocery store. So that's been really great. I really enjoyed having those. And I think they were maybe like $8 a piece or something. So, a little bit of cost up front, but like I said, it's way more economical when you think about like your cost per milliliter. So yeah, as you can see, there's the pot. Yarn is in, and I'm dyeing up 4 skeins in the pumpkin colorway. One is a skein of that Cascade Heritage silk that I'm over dyeing to make an exploration station because you guys have convinced me to make an exploration station. So I'm over dyeing one of those skeins, and then I'm dyeing one skein of the 100% BFL, one skein of the like tweedy, sort of the Donegal tweed or the Donegal sock one, and then my last skein of the 4-ply 7525 superwash merino nylon that I have. I have more 7525, but it's 2-ply. So this is the last skein of the 4-ply. So yeah, they're all in my big pot. You can sort of see them in there. Because I'm getting a later start, I think what I'm probably going to do is get them, heated up and everything, and then let it cool down overnight and rinse everything out in the morning because I didn't sleep well last night. I woke up, I think, a couple of times, and I know I woke up at like 4 o'clock and like never really got back to sleep. So I actually have a headache right now because I don't think I got enough sleep, and I just took something for it because I know it will keep me from getting to sleep tonight. But yeah, I'm probably going to try and go to bed a little bit early tonight, and that means that I'm not going to have time for that to properly cool off because it's a lot of water in there. And I think I've talked about this before, but water has a high specific heat, which means that it can basically hold a lot of energy at a given temperature, and it takes it a long time to release that energy and cool down. So I'd rather not rush it. I'll just leave it overnight. But for now, I'm going to let that sit and get up to temperature. And then I'm also watching The Addams Family on Netflix because I just think it's a super cute movie. So I'm gonna watch that, maybe eat some chocolate, do some knitting, and then, like I said, go to bed. So if you guys don't see me again until tomorrow morning, it's because I'm an old lady and went to bed early, but I guess we'll see. Good morning. It is Saturday morning. It's just before 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm still in my pajamas because I woke up about 6 and I've been a busy bee already this morning, and now I need to get working on cooking my meals for next week. So I'm planning on having a very productive day today so that I can have a really chill day tomorrow. So the plan for today is, first I need to clean everything up. I don't know. Yeah, so this morning I had to deal with all the yarn, which is right there on the drying rack, and I actually dyed up another 2 skeins since I still had that water in the pot. I was like, whatever, I'll just dye up another couple skeins in the water because, of course, if you exhaust the dye, you can do that and then you don't waste so much water. And especially because that's such a big pot, it takes a lot of water to even fill it up just like halfway. So I don't want to waste the water, and I had a couple other skeins that I wanted to dye up. So I actually think I'm going to take the pot and probably put it out on my little back porch because it's kind of in the way right now and it needs to cool down, and it can cool down out there because the lid fits very tightly, so it's not like I'm worried about bugs getting into it. And so that way it'll be out of the way. Or maybe I'll put it on a pot holder on the floor or something. I don't know. The point being, it needs to get off the stove because I need to cook things. So that's my plan, is I'm going to cook up my meals for the week. And then I have to run back to the store for like 1 or 2 more things. And then I'm going to eat lunch. And then after lunch, my plan is to go to the nearest shoe store, which I can get to by bus, and buy my birthday present to myself this year. So every year I buy myself a birthday present, and this is just sort of one of those things where it's like I buy myself something that only I could buy for myself, that I really want. And so this year it's going to be rain boots because, especially because I don't have a car or anything here, right? I get everywhere on foot. When it rains here, it rains. Like, it will rain all day, and then my feet get soaked walking to and from work. And so I really want like a nice pair of waterproof boots. And so it's kind of something that like I can only buy for myself, because if I were to ask for it as like a gift, it's like I wouldn't get exactly what I want, because I'm very picky about it, but they're kind of expensive, which is why I've put them off buying. So I'll buy them as a birthday gift to myself. So yeah, that's gonna happen after lunch, and then my plan is to not spend too long doing that, and then come home and do a whole bunch of like cleaning, chores and stuff. So it's going to be a productive day. I am determined to have it be a productive day so then I can be lazy tomorrow. But yeah, first I need to get everything cleaned up. I need to clean up all of my dyeing stuff. I need to clean up like my breakfast dishes from coffee and stuff, and then get cooking. So I need to clean up all the dishes and then make a whole bunch more dishes. So let's do that. Okay, update. I just pulled the first pot of food off the stove. I am showered and dressed, walking around my apartment. But I'm a little bit annoyed because it took longer than I thought it was going to. Because, right, so this is that curry sort of recipe. The recipe said cut your potatoes into small chunks. I thought I did cut them into small chunks. Turns out my definition of a small chunk is different than their definition. So my potatoes took forever to cook, but I mean, it's okay. It's not like the biggest deal in the world because like I had wanted to get both the beef and the pork dishes cooked before lunch, but like not having the pork dish cooked is not that big of a deal because that's what I'm going to eat for dinner tonight. So I can just get it put on the stove this afternoon and kind of cook it as I'm cleaning and then, you know, just still have it for dinner. So it's not like I'm really behind schedule, but if you are a type A person like I am, you'll know how annoying it is to have a schedule and then fall behind schedule, even if it doesn't matter, right? Like the fact that you've deviated from the schedule is the really annoying thing. So I'm just trying to... But on the plus side, I was working this morning on my second Villavini sock, and I am to the point now where I am done with the Intarsia panel, right? Like I just have to cut the coordinating color and kind of decrease those last couple stitches, but then it's just straight up knitting on that one, so that's very exciting. So at least I've gotten something done, and now I'm going to run to the store and pick up a couple of rotisserie chickens because now they should have them out for this morning. They don't really early, like they don't put them out until like 9. So I can pick up a couple of those, and that's what I'll have for lunch. And then I also need to pick up some more vegetables because I thought I had plenty of leftover vegetables to cook up to go with like the chicken meals this week. I do not, so I need to pick up some more vegetables, but that's what I'm going to do now. And then I will probably check back in with you guys when I am getting ready to leave after lunch to go to the shoe store and go find some shoes. So, yeah. Whew. I'm having a productive day, but it doesn't feel like I'm having a productive day because I'm behind the arbitrary schedule that I set for myself. Ugh, type A personality is the worst. But anyway, I'll see you guys in jump cut. Oh my god, carrots. So, the real question is, do I have enough money for the bus to go out to get my shoes? It's $1.50 each way, so I have $1 left over from last time. What do I have in here? I have another $1. Perfect. I have exactly $3, which is exactly what I need to get there and back. Yes! Also, I am being a total dork and wearing my backpack to the store because where the shoe store is, there's also a Target and there's an AC Moore, right? So there's a couple of different errands I want to run kind of while I'm up there since, you know, I have to pay for each trip on the bus. So yeah, I figured I'd bring my backpack that way. I don't have to like be lugging around a whole bunch of shopping bags, but still, I think the smart thing to do is to hit the shoe store last, because that's probably going to be the biggest thing, but I do feel a little bit dorky. But then again, it kind of just feels like I'm going to work since I wear this to work every day. So I think the dorkier thing is talking to my phone while walking in public. So I'm going to stop doing that. I'll catch you guys in jump cut. Man, Target's gotten fancy with their wine marketing. Look at those spotlights. All right, so I'm done at Target, and I'm now walking back over to where the bus let me off because that's where the shoe store is. So now I'm gonna go actually look at shoes, but yeah, I found the cutest thing. I'll show you guys once I get back home, but I found the cutest project bag that's not meant to be a project bag. You guys know I'm a big fan of that, but I think this thing is amazing, and it was only like $10, so stay tuned for that. But otherwise, the Target, this local Target here is remodeling right now, so it's kind of a mess inside. Like, you'll be walking through, you know, whatever home improvement stuff, and then all of a sudden there's like candles and throw pillows, like not where they're supposed to be because they're in the middle of just moving everything around and they're just doing it piecemeal. So not my favorite Target experience, but that's okay. So yeah, now I'm gonna go look for some shoes and then hopefully get headed back home. It looks like it's gonna rain. I don't think it's gonna rain, but it might rain. I'm hoping it doesn't rain because that would be a bummer, but we shall see. That is definitely not where AC Moore used to be. That's weird. So, I'm just gonna say it. AC Moore is probably my least favorite of all the sort of chain craft stores. Like, they just have nothing. And this one, despite being in a nice big new space, like way bigger than the store used to be, no room to walk around. Like, it was like single person spaces between stuff. So, boo AC Moore. And you didn't have the knitting needles I wanted, so double boo. Hey there. So it's been a couple of hours since you last saw me. Yeah, I was out shopping and then I couldn't find any boots really. So that was just really disappointing. Like, I found all of one pair that fit and was like what I'm looking for. Because I don't think I mentioned this, right? So it's not just that I want rain boots. I really wanted like duck boots because I wanted something that would work for both rain and winter. So yeah, I found like one pair that was, the brand is Sorel, whatever, Sorel, and they were $125. And I just, like, I knew that these boots weren't going to be cheap, but I wasn't really budgeting to spend $125 on them today. So yeah, so I was just really disappointed, and I came home and I was, really annoyed that I couldn't find what I was looking for. Plus I was tired, plus I was thirsty, and it was hot today, so I just was kind of too warm, and so I just came home and was all in a huff and just pouted for a while. Plus I was lonely, like, I miss Wesley. So yes, I came home, ate some chocolate, and pouted, and then have been trying to be productive this afternoon. So I washed my sheets, which I need to get put back on my bed. I cleaned the shower, which I never do. Turns out the easiest way to clean a shower is just to take one of those Mr. Clean Magic erasers and just scrub the crap out of it. Like, I always hated cleaning the shower because, like, I had like shower cleaner stuff that always just smelled really bad. Turns out a magic eraser will totally do it, so go figure. So yeah, I just got done eating dinner. I made the last dish that I needed to do for food prep, so that's all done. I finished my second Villavini socks, so I'm going to show those off on the podcast tomorrow. And now I'm just about, I'm done eating dinner, so I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run over to the store because I really want a snack, right? Like, I've been really resisting having, like, sweet things, but, like, I don't know, like, I really like having something just a little bit, not even sweet, but just like a little bit special after dinner, like something to just be like, yeah, the day's done, I'm done eating, like, this is my, like, dessert. But like, I've been trying to get off of sugar, and I know that if I just go get like ice cream or something, it'll make me feel crappy. So I realized what I want, and what I want is applesauce, because I really enjoy having applesauce, and especially, it's not cool here today. Like I said, it's kind of hot today, but like, when it's cooler, I like to warm applesauce up in the microwave. Oh, so good. So I'm gonna run over to the store and pick up some applesauce right now, and then I think I'm going to get started on my Undine socks tonight, or at least I'm gonna get the yarn wound up for it. Oh, that reminds me, I need to show you guys what I got. So I mentioned that I found something that is not a project bag, but I'm going to use as a project bag. So let me get it on the table, or well, let me take it into the other room really quick, and I will show you guys what it is. But anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna do that tonight and probably talk to Wesley at some point, but I'm not entirely sure when. But let me show you this bag. Okay, so this is what I got at Target, and I think I mentioned this, but this was like $10. It was back in their like travel aisle where they like have like all like the kind of specific travel things. And so it's this little pouch. It's got like a nice sort of little triangular bottom, so it sits nicely. It's got an outside pocket that's Velcro, and then let's see if I can unzip it with one hand. And it's just sort of like a nylon material, but it's like, it's not thin. It kind of is like, feels like there's like multiple layers of stuff in there, so it feels very sturdy. There's my little air plant. But then it has one of those like sort of like, it's got like metal in the top here. So when you open it, it like stays open like that. And I have the yarn that I'm going to use for my Undine socks inside. But so this way it just sits and it stays open. And it's really nice because, it's got that nice flat bottom. So now it just stays open like that. And on the inside, so it has, in here, it has one zipper pocket. You can see the little zipper pull right there. And then on this side, it has another Velcro pocket that's kind of open. And as you can see, it's nice and big. It's plenty big enough to fit 2 skeins of yarn in. So I figure it'll be big enough that I can put, especially for these because it's 2 colors, I can put the 2 balls side by side. And it's, like I said, the fabric is like really sturdy, so I'm not like worried about like my needles poking through or anything. And yeah, like it'll be nice like having this little zipper pouch, because then I can put like my tapestry needle, my notions and stuff in there, and they don't wind up all over the place. And I just think this will be really good. I mean, it just seems like a really good project bag in general, but I think it'll be especially good now that I'm going to be doing more traveling when I go to see Wesley and stuff, because I like to sort of have like what I call a plain pouch, which is basically like one bag that I take out of my main bag. So then if there's room in the overhead bins, I can put my bag in the overhead bin, and then this has everything that I need at my seat. Or, you know, if my bag's under my seat, even still, this has everything that I need and I don't have to go digging around in my bag under my seat. So, you know, I was using another one of my project bags for this and it worked fine, but this will be really nice, especially because it has extra pockets. So like I can put my phone in the outside pocket and then my phone's not floating around in here, and it has, you know, I can put my headphones or something in here. I just think it'll be really great for travel. But in general, I'm just super excited about it. And I really like that it sort of sits open on its own like that. So yeah, like I said, it was like $10 at Target. Go get you some if you have a Target near you that you think might have these. This was the only color, unfortunately, but I like the color anyway, so like I'm not mad about it. But if they have them still the next time I go there, I might pick up a second one just to have a spare, because I am just super excited about it. And I would love to have, you know, more than one of these, because as you guys know, I'm not a huge collector of project bags, but like this is exactly what I'm looking for. So yeah, anyway, that's that. Now I'm gonna go get my applesauce, and I will probably check in with you guys a little bit later. Boom. Operation Get Me Some Applesauce was a success. I got fancy schmancy organic applesauce. Because Kroger's organic stuff is cheap. So I got this, but I always have the hardest time with applesauce because like I can never find exactly the applesauce configuration I want, right? Like this is unsweetened applesauce, which I don't like to have sugar put in my applesauce because I happen to think it's sweet enough. But the thing is that I like cinnamon applesauce, but you can't find cinnamon unsweetened applesauce, or I've maybe found it like once in my life. So pro tip, if you're like me and you like cinnamon applesauce, but you want it unsweetened, what I typically do is, and I don't like to fuss with like adding it to like each bowl because then I just make a mess. So what I do is I will typically, you know, scoop out just a little bit, like maybe half of like my bowl that I want to have, and then I will dump a whole bunch of cinnamon into the jar in the space that's been created, and then sort of like put the top back on and shake it up, and that helps mix the cinnamon in, and then I have cinnamon unsweetened applesauce. But then I saw that they had chunky applesauce, which I really like chunky applesauce, but of course it's not unsweetened. So I also bought some apples, because I've made applesauce before in the crock pot, and so I figured that's something I could do tomorrow, and that will be really good and totally worth it because there's pretty minimal prep. It's just, if I remember right, it's just chopping and peeling the apples. So, but I think I'm going to turn the air conditioner on. It is hot. I don't know, I hate the weather here in Richmond, but it's hot, and it's like, it's not that hot. I think it's 82 degrees in here, but it's just, it's humid, and it's like, it's not cooling down outside. So I think I need to turn the air on, or else I'm just not gonna sleep tonight. So yeah, I hate doing that. I hate running the air because it's expensive, drives the electric bill up, but I don't, I'm too sweaty. Someone turn the air on. Good morning. It's actually barely still morning. It's almost 11 o'clock. But yeah, I just got done taking a shower. I did get up early this morning, right? Like I didn't just get out of bed. But I hadn't showered and I just felt kind of gross. So I figured I would wait until I'd showered until I talked to you guys. But yeah, I've actually been doing quite a bit this morning. I've been doing things, right? So I've been working on my Ondine socks. I started those last night and got through the toe increases on the first one. So today I've just sort of been working on the foot. What else have I been doing? Let's see, you can see a little crock pot right there. I got my homemade applesauce going. It's funny, so I talked about like my pro tip last night on how to make unsweetened cinnamon applesauce. And then I went and did that, and I got a little too heavy-handed with my pumpkin pie spice, so like way overspiced the jar of like pre-made applesauce that I bought. So this recipe for applesauce in the crock pot, it's like 9 apples and half a cup of water and then whatever spices you want. And I think that's for like a full-size crock pot. So I only put 5 apples in my tiny little crock pot. But then I took half a cup of that pre-made applesauce that I overspiced and put that in and then didn't add any other spices. So hopefully they'll sort of balance each other out. But yes, I did that. You can also see there's the big pot on the stove. I over-dyed my second skein that's gonna go into my future exploration station. This is the sort of turquoisey one that's sitting on the stove there. The other one I dyed in that pumpkin colorway, and that's just about dry now. What else have I done? What else? I think that's about it. Oh, something else I did, right, so that, the yarn that I just dyed, so I'm kind of calling that colorway, I think I called it Minty Fresh. It's, let's walk with me. As a reminder, sort of what that colorway looks like, at least dyed up on bare yarn. Of course, this one will look a little bit different because it's on that sort of tan base, but it looks like this. And I really like it. It's sort of, this like pale turquoisey color. So I really like that, and I wanted to be able to reproduce it in the future. So I try to make an effort now when I dye, things that are solid, to write down the ratios of dye that I use so that like if I want to do it again, I can. Obviously, like that only really works for like the solid things. The other ones, it's kind of like, it's a one-time thing, right? Like I'll show you in a minute the other skeins that I dyed up yesterday. Those I don't think I could reproduce because it's just, those are just a moment of inspiration and whatever happens, happens. But anyway, so this one, because it's a solid color, I wrote down the sort of the recipe for it. And I had one of my empty little, dropper bottles. And so I actually mixed up those ratios in here so that now, hopefully, all I need to do is add this many drops, 26 drops of this per 100 grams of yarn, and it should give me that color again. I really should do that with the pumpkin colorway as well, since I really like that one. But yeah, I just haven't yet. So that's what I've been doing. So let me go ahead and flip the camera around, and I'll show you guys the other 2 skeins of yarn that I dyed up yesterday, which you haven't seen yet. I know the light is sort of garbage, but so these are what they look like. They're both skeins were dyed at the same time, so I'll just show you one. But yeah, this is what it looks like. I'm calling this day-old birthday cake, and it's sort of is like this really pale yellow base, which you can sometimes get a little bit washed out, but then it's got these little sort of bits of color through it, and it's sort of makes me think of like, when you have like cake or like anything with like sprinkles and stuff on it, sort of how those colors will sort of bleed into the surrounding stuff after a little while. That's what this makes me think of, so that's why I called it day-old birthday cake. But yeah, I dyed up two skeins of that, and like I said, this is something that like I don't think I could ever repeat, the way that it is, versus these like pumpkin spice ones where that's an easy sort of to repeat thing because it's a solid color. Although this one is interesting. This one definitely came out with some lighter patches than other ones before. It's still really pretty and I still really like it, but it is sort of interesting how there were some patches where the dye just didn't take very well. Go figure. But yeah, so these are just still here sort of drying. They're actually, I think, pretty much all the way dry by now because they sit underneath my ceiling fan up here. So, and that was running pretty much all day yesterday. So these had a lot of airflow through them. So I think they're all just about dry. But yeah, I'm going to probably get myself some lunch made soon because like I said, it's just about 11. And then this afternoon, I need to get the podcast recorded. So stay tuned for that. So this is the aftermath of scanning up a whole bunch of things. I I cut off all the extra little ties on my yarn except for the one that's holding the actual ends of the skein, just to make it look nicer when I wind it up. And so these are a whole bunch of little yarn ends. So I just got done taking pictures of some yarn that I want to list on Etsy, and I'm gonna try and get those pictures edited and then get my podcast for this week recorded. That's the picture taking space. So, yup. Whoa. There we go. It's podcast time. It's also vitamin time, but that's beside the point. Anyway, it's podcast time, so I'm just getting everything set up for that. I also thought I would go ahead and show you guys that I got my applesauce is done, and it's so good. I put most of it, let's see if I can, glove. It's very hot. I just took it out of the crock pot and put it into this empty 16-ounce mason jar. So you can see it's pretty chunky still, but it's really good. I had just a little bit more than what would fit in here, so I actually ate that already. But I'm just letting this kind of cool because it's very, very hot. So that's done. Like I said, I'm about to podcast. What else? What else? I had things I was going to tell you guys. Oh, so I'm not going to show this off on the podcast because it's a bit too wet to want to bring into the other room. And I'm totally not going to be leaving this drying rack in my living room all the time, but for right now, it's very convenient. But I finished over dyeing the second skein to go in the exploration station. It looks kind of gross right now, but I was explaining this earlier to you guys. It was probably just like a minute ago that I was going to be over dyeing with that turquoise sort of mix. I'm thinking so my experience with the first skein of this that I overdyed, that I dyed the sort of pumpkin colorway, is that it looked really bad at first and then it lightened up considerably as it dries, which I mean all yarn does, but like this especially. So I'm thinking it will look fine, but I'm holding off on doing the third one until that dries because I want to know exactly how that looks when it dries before I dye up the third color. I have an idea for what I want to do for the third color, but I want to make sure it looks the way that I think it will look, otherwise so yeah, I've done that. So then the other thing. So, right, in my sort of podcasting corner, I always feel like I have this problem where normally what I do is, so here's my bed. Normally I will put things kind of on the corner of the bed right here, right there. But then I can't always reach them. So what I realized I could do is I have this little sort of like TV tray thing, which the printer was sitting on, but I don't really ever use that printer because that printer kind of sucks. So I just put the printer on the floor and I realized that's perfect. Like it's like a perfect little shelf now that's right there for me to use while podcasting. So I'll flip the camera around really quick, show you guys that, and then I'm going to actually get to podcasting rather than just talking about podcasting. I just finished recording the podcast and I thought I would show you guys the aftermath of showing off all this yarn. This is my little podcasting corner setup. So yeah, now I'm gonna get all of this cleaned back up, and then I think I might go for a walk while it is still not raining because I've been cooped up inside all day. I haven't even put proper pants on, so that needs to change. But first, I need to put all this stuff away and not leave a mess for myself. Hey guys, so I am going to sort of close out the vlog. It's much later in the day, so I got back from my walk and it was just so hot out. And like the thing is, it's not like it was that hot, right? Like it's, I don't know, it was like mid-80s today, which is stupid hot for October, right? Like stupid Richmond. But it's not like it's like the hottest it's ever been, right? Like it was hotter in the summer here, but I don't know what it is. But it was also very, very humid today. And I think it's because like it's not supposed to be hot right now. But anyway, so I got back from my walk and I was just exhausted, the kind of exhausted you are when you've been out in the heat. So I had a little snack and, was whining a little bit to Wesley via text message about how unfair life is, whatever. And then I finally got my butt up to have dinner, had some dinner. Tonight was my, so by now, I've now had both of those two recipes that I sort of prepped, the beef curry and then the pork dish. And I feel very meh about both of them. Like, they're fine and I'll eat them this week because I don't want to waste the food. But, like, they're both kind of meh. I feel
like I probably wouldn't make either recipe again. So there's that. But I've had dinner now, so I can feel some of my energy returning. I think I'm also a little bit dehydrated just in general, so I have to make sure like I get some more water chugged now, or otherwise I'll be up all night. Whatever, right? Because I'm an old man like that. But yeah, I'm gonna close out the vlog. I'm hoping it was interesting. If you watched the whole thing, thank you very much. I'm gonna try and get editing it tonight so that I can get it up about the same time as this week's podcast. I'm also dyeing up the third skein for the third skein of that Cascade Heritage Silk for the exploration station. The other one is pretty dry now. I think this is pretty true to what the color is going to be. It's kind of turned out this weird sort of like silver color almost, which is very interesting. I mean, I'm not mad about it, but I guess like, you know, it's the difference between, right? So the other one came out very pumpkin colored. But that's, I think, because the base is brown and it plays well with that, versus here, I think the base is sort of fighting the color. So it came out this sort of silver color, which I wish I could reproduce this on demand, because that would be nice. But now that I know what that is, so now I have the other skein in the pot dyeing, and I am dyeing it sort of that like juniper color. And I think it'll work well. So then all three of those will be dyed, and I just need to dye up the sort of final contrasting color. And then I can start. But I talked about this in the podcast today. I don't know when I'm going to start that. Who knows? But anyway, one thing I did want to mention before I go is obviously I'm not going to Rhinebeck. I know a lot of people are talking about Rhinebeck right now. I'm obviously not going because for one thing, I will be further north than that, right? That's the weekend that I'm going to visit Wesley up in New Hampshire. So, yeah, Rhinebeck is just not going to happen for me. But another thing was, I don't know. It was too short of notice on too stressful of stuff in the middle of the semester, so that was just not going to happen. But I do think I'm going to go to Vogue Knitting Live this year. I think I said that last year, and I just didn't make it. This year I would really like to go, for one thing, because I want to go to a fiber festival sort of thing. Another thing, I want to go to New York City. I've really been wanting to go to New York City for like a long weekend, and Vogue Knitting Live seems like a good reason to go. I'd like to meet people who are going to be there. Plus, like, now I have much more incentive to go because I think I mentioned this before, but New York City is exactly halfway between here and New Hampshire. So, you know, by train, it's about 6 hours for me, and it's about 6 hours for Wesley. So, and if we can go by train, that makes it a heck of a lot more affordable than by plane. So then it's like not as bad of an idea, because it's like, well, instead of going up to New Hampshire in January, I'll just go up to New York City, and he can come down to New York City, and we can have a weekend in New York City versus a weekend in Richmond or New Hampshire. So I think just in every way, this year looks a heck of a lot better for Vogue Knitting Live than like last year did. Plus, for me, it's still winter break at that point. So it's like, yes, I have to like take a day off or two off of work, but it's not like I'm taking work off in the middle of the semester, so it's not like, you know, a huge hassle. So yeah, just wanted to mention that I would like to go to Vogue Knitting Live this year. So we'll see how that plays out. I think the only thing that really is going to be an issue is the finances, right? Like, can I play the cards right to save up the money to be able to go? And obviously that's always the hard thing, but I guess we'll see. Anyway, so that's going to be it. That's it for the vlog. Thanks very much for hanging out with me this weekend. And I guess I'll see you again the next time you watch one of the videos. If you're going to watch the podcast this week, I'll see you then. Otherwise, I'll see you the next time. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.